Well, we're here today at the Callahan School, and we are here with the new principal who, I'm going to say, it may not necessarily be new to a lot of folks here in Norwood, Donna Brown.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Donna, how does it, I got to start with the obvious question. How does it feel to be back in Norwood and be the principal of the school you went to when you were a kid?
It's an honor and a privilege. And as I've said to many people, and George Yusevich, when I went to an administrators meeting prior to getting this job, said, "Welcome home," and it feels like coming back home. So it's truly, and I did. I went to kindergarten here, and so I really started my educational career. I then did student teaching at the Callahan, and now I'm back as the principal. So it kind of had a full circle for me, which was great.
That is great. And you're also, we've got to say it, and we'll just say it once in the beginning of the interview.
Okay.
You're also following, obviously, a legend, Bob Griffin.
Huge shoes.
So you have that. So what was that like? And I know Bob gave you a lot of help too.
He did. So Bob and I met right from when I was given the position, and we met throughout the summer. He continues to come in on a regular basis, and we go over things. My first faculty meeting, I asked him for a pair of shoes, and I walked into the faculty meeting and I said, okay, these shoes just don't fit, so we're going to have to carve a new path. But Bob has been, I'm just carrying on his legacy. He has developed a culture and climate here that is phenomenal. It is a true neighborhood school. The students are incredible, the parents are incredible, and the staff is incredible. So it's kind of an easy job for me, given what the path that he's created.
And it's great. And now you're building your own path. We'll talk about that a little bit in a second. But again, for folks that may not know you, you and I met many, many years ago when my kids were at the Cleveland School.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you've also not only had experience here at Callahan, you've been around the district. Why don't you take us through?
Sure. I started when I was in graduate school and got a call from Rod Smith, the special ed director at the time, and worked at the Cleveland at the preschool program. Then I went to work kind of in private practice in the hospital setting, and he called me back and said, "Are you interested at all in a school position?" So I took the position. I was at the Cleveland, then the preschool got moved to the Willett, so I went to the Willett school. And then when an opening came back for the Cleveland, I went and was the speech pathologist at the Cleveland school, then became the head teacher there. There was a superintendent who encouraged me to get my administrative licensure. I thought, I love what I'm doing, but okay. And so I had that in my back pocket. An opening came in Sharon, and I really felt that in order to do this job, I wanted to have an assistant principal position, and they're few and far between at an elementary level. So I did go to Sharon for 6 years, and my ultimate dream was to come back to Norwood, and I'm happy to say that that dream got fulfilled.
Well, we're happy to say that too. Sharon, how would you contrast the difference between Sharon and what we have here in Norwood?
Similar as far as how staff work to meet the needs of all students. And really differentiate instruction. That's one of my kind of passions and my goals. We had a behavior program at the school I was at. There is a behavior program here. So we are doing a lot with social emotional learning. We've met as a staff. We're now bringing students into the fold as far as just establishing kind of expectations for the whole school. So very similar, but yet they had different curriculums, obviously, so they did a different math program, but similar as far as the content, as far as meeting the needs of all students and putting students first.
Super. Now, you've been here, the honeymoon is over.
It is.
Observations, surprises that you've seen in the first few months here?
Sure. My year started a little rough. I had many staff members who I had hired someone, and they sent me an email as I was heading to my opening day meeting that she was no longer going to take the position. I've had some people get hurt. So there were some vacancies to fill, and that was a challenge in itself. Now we've got everything kind of up and running. I think the staff had to get used to me. I got used to the staff. We've done a lot of meeting together to find out what their needs are. So that was really something important for me, meeting with the students. The students wrote me letters before I got here. They're posted on my website, and they shared with me what they thought I could do as a principal and some of the things that they loved about the Callahan School. So we've implemented a lot of those. So I really do take what the stakeholders have to say into consideration and then move forward in that direction.
So it sounds like you've been faced with some interesting challenges.
There were. And Bob kept telling me this was unusual, so I wasn't sure. But
and I hope you didn't take it personally.
No, I figured if I could survive that, I'm good to go. And the fact that, went through January vacation, and every day is a new challenge here. The days fly by. I just can't imagine. It's incredible. So, but we made it through January, and now I feel like our path is kind of set. We're looking at a new school improvement plan for next year. So we're talking about what are the initiatives we'd like to do, what's the district as far as their strategic plan, and how can we implement those at the Callahan.
So let's talk a little bit about, we're going to come back to Callahan and talk a little bit about you.
Sure.
And we were doing this before the segment. You were the cheerleading coach.
So that's how I started in Norwood. My mom, I was away at school at Ithaca College, was coming back to figure out where I was going to go to grad school, which I ended up at Emerson. And my mom saw a little ad in the paper that said cheerleading coach wanted. And she said, oh, you might want to do this. So I thought, I'll try it. And, 15 years I was a cheerleading coach. That's how I met my husband. It was an incredible experience as far as, just being part of the Norwood community. Rallied around the community. It was an incredible. I have to brag, we did win 13 Bay State titles. I like to say I was, as winning as Paul Alberta. So those are big shoes to fill. But with that, we went to we went to nationals several times. We won many state titles. But those aren't the things that I really hold my hat on. I really admire what the cheerleaders have done as far as when they became young women, and it was really building character, and that's really what I concentrated on. Yes, we liked the accolades of winning, and I'm very competitive, as my daughter is, and she's doing Dancing with the Stars this year.
I was wondering how long it was going to take for that.
I had to give her a plug. So Alex moved back to Norwood. She started, in Norwood. She was, and my father-in-law was Dr. Larry Brown, and Jean Brown founded women's softball. My parents were huge in the hockey community. My grandfather was Herb Anderson Volkswagen. My father owned Norwood Dodge. So we've got Mustang roots. We did take a hiatus and move to Walpole, but it was very hard for me to cheer on the Rebels. So I think Alex, I told her, once a Mustang, always a Mustang. So she moved back. She was nominated to do Dancing with the Stars, and she really decided to do it after talking to my nephew, Matt Brown. So Matt, as many people know, was injured in a hockey game at Norwood High, and the community rallied around Matt. What we didn't know as a family, because the Circle of Hope is so private, is that the Circle of Hope helped out Matt when our family needed it most. So Matt convinced Alex to do this, and so she's thanking him to this day. She's just started her first couple of dance lessons and is having a blast. The fundraising, is a little bit daunting when you try to ask the community for money, but when you hear about what the Circle of Hope has to offer and what they've done for families, I had no idea of the magnitude that they've raised and allocated over $700,000 for families in Norwood of medical need, and that to me that's Norwood. That's why I wanted to come back to Norwood, because people rally around this community. They rally around individuals. So Matt's the catalyst, and so he's Alex's manager. I'm the momager, I've told. So once a cheerleading coach, always a coach. So I've got, Alex, how about this music? And I'm sending her, what about this outfit for dance? And she's like, Mom, chill out. But once a mom, always a mom, and once a coach, always a coach, I guess. So
you're not going to be one of those dance moms at Dancing with the
Stars.
I
hope not. But,
if not,
but she's told me I am. So
So we may consider at MPA doing a little,
you might want to.
an offshoot
that
show.
Might be a hysterical segment because of the intensity of Donna Brown. But Alex is used to me, and she's an incredible young lady. She was actually in a horrific car accident her senior year of college. She was out doing an internship in Las Vegas and was T-boned by a Porsche going 80 miles an hour. So she spent her senior year in a walker at UMass Amherst, and was told that she would never be able to run again, never be able to do anything of this caliber. She ran the Falmouth Road Race this past year, and now this is for her, this is a huge, this is what I want to do, because being active is such a part. So she's had hip surgeries and hand surgeries, and so I'm really proud of her for taking this on, knowing that it might, cause a little discomfort, but she's ready for the challenge.
Well, I can see how proud of a mom you are.
Totally
really
proud. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get back to your principal role. I should also mention that, with the cheerleading, you run a cheerleading camp through the rec department too.
Yeah, right? So many years, Jerry Miller got me involved in doing a cheerleading camp through the Norwood Rec, and every year I say this is going to be my last year because I'm getting a little old, and some of the parents that I had as cheerleaders, their children are now going to the camp. But my daughters, Alex and Mackenzie, have helped me out, as well as my nieces and former cheerleaders. So, yep, they've got me back for one more year. And it really is fun to see little kids being able to just perform, and it's my workout for the week when I go there.
Well, it's super, and I'm sure the kids, your students, are probably like, whoa, wait a minute.
So I think they'll be very excited this year because now it will be Mrs. Brown, yes.
Exactly.
The principals now.
So talking about, you've come in, you've had a little time, talked about a little bit of the things that you learned through your career in Sharon. What are your plans for the future here at the Callahan School?
Sure.
What are you looking at? You said you're doing the school improvement plan. So.
Yes, so we're starting to kind of talk about the school improvement plan, and my first goal will be to survey parents and staff as far as different areas. Some of the areas that I feel are extremely important are social and emotional learning. If students aren't ready to learn, then bringing curriculum to them is really challenging. So that's one of the huge things that we've done, and we've started what's called PBIS. It's Positive Behavioral Incentive Systems at the Callahan. We spent our January 2nd PD as a staff rolling out or just brainstorming what are expected behaviors as far as responsibility, respect, and safety in all areas of the school. I now have my 5th graders making posters. We're going to be having different assemblies to model expected behavior, and then we're going to reward those expected behaviors. So social emotional learning is huge. The other is meeting the needs of all learners. We do have a diverse population. Years ago, you just gave curriculum, and those that could get it, got it, and those that didn't, you kind of moved on. So it's really looking at how do we meet the high-achieving students as well as students that are struggling. So that's one thing that we're really talking about, and as a staff, we've been, immersed in as far as faculty meetings and professional development. Another would be blended learning. So that's become an initiative of the district, and blended learning is not just having tests for students, but it's project-based learning. It's having students learn those 21st century skills. So not just curriculum, but being able to collaborate, work together, being able to communicate, being creative, and it's really critical thinking. So how do we go beyond just the curriculum and really pull in all of those critical thinking pieces? So those are probably 3 of the biggest challenges, and I think those are things that the school and the staff are committed to. Parents seem to be on board, and our students are as well. So they've responded to when we were putting together small group instruction and rotation stations. I had one student write a persuasive essay to a teacher saying, please, we need to do more of this. This was so much fun, and everyone is engaged. So again, getting that feedback from students is huge. So those are the 3 areas that we'll probably concentrate on.
Oh, that's great. So a lot of exciting things happening here. Mm-hmm. New energy with the new principal. Any last words that you'd like to say to just about what you'd like the community to know about you doing here?
It's just an incredible opportunity for me to be able to come back, to be part of this community again in such a pivotal role. But to me, leadership is not a top-down, so it really is a collaboration. So I just have one title, but it really is a group effort. And to be at the Callahan School, it's an incredible. Every day I come here, and just the energy from the students, just the energy from the staff, it really makes working not working.
That's awesome. Well, Donna, we're gonna have to come back because I'm going to get Jack Tolman to let me do the Dance Mom segment.
Sure, absolutely. Then the true me will come. I need this job, though. So.
All right, maybe not. No, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to hear about what's happening here, and we would love to come back and talk to you some more when you've had a little bit more time about the exciting things you're doing.
Anytime, as I say to the kids and the staff, my door is always open.
Awesome.